次は戦う友がいる。ファイナルファイト2新登場。2人同時プレイが戦いを熱くする。Capcom.
What's up, everybody? It's Kevin here from Happy Beard Games. Today on Happy Beard Games is Famicom Friday. We are checking out two video games in a double feature of Final Fight on the Super Famicom, as well as its sequel, Final Fight 2, on the Super Famicom as well. Now, with these two games, I've played Final Fight a little bit here and there throughout the years, but I've never played Final Fight 2, so it'll be a new experience for me when we get to the second part of this video and we get to Final Fight 2. Before we start our quick plays, we're going to jump into some regional differences, and I'll tell you a little bit about some of the differences between the censored North American version and the original uncut Japanese edition that we're playing today. Final Fight was the first Capcom game released on the Super Nintendo / Super Famicom. This is based on the video game Final Fight in the arcades, but is watered down in some ways with a missing character, Guy, and the absence of the two-player cooperative mode. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up in the classic arcade style. And while there was some differences between the arcade and the home port, there's also differences between the Japanese and the North American region port. So for this video, we're playing the Japanese version, of course, and on the Japanese version, the main differences you'll be seeing are things like violence against women. So some of the female bad guys have been changed to male bad guys, like really obviously male bad guys, and really obviously female bad guys will be present in this one. You can definitely tell that they changed the character sprites completely between the two regions. Other things that have been censored or changed amongst regions include some cuss words or references to religion, such as the name of the character Sodom, as well as things like "Oh my God" has been changed, and there's a character named Damned. And in addition to those, things like bars or alcohol references and drug references have been removed in the North American versions, but should be present in this Japanese Super Famicom version. One more fun fact, was originally supposed to be a Street Fighter sequel and does feature characters that have crossed over into the Street Fighter games. So I'm assuming this is in the same universe as Street Fighter. Alright, we're pressing start in Final Fight, and we've got our two characters to choose from. I'm going to choose Hagar, or Hagar, Hagar, like Sammy Hagar. Alright, we're selecting Hagar, Hagar. How do you pronounce this? The first level is the slums. We've got Y to punch, X doesn't do anything, B is jump, A doesn't do anything yet. But then again, that's all you really need to do in these beat-em-ups is just attack and maybe dodge. I've never really been too good at these beat-em-up games as I'm getting hit. I don't know if that's going to fade away or not. Grab it right now, just to be safe. Grab our meat. Yeah, like I was saying, I've never really been too good at these beat-em-up games. To an extent, I have beaten quite a few of them, but including in the arcades as well. Like on an actual arcade machine, I mean. But sometimes it just takes a lot of like practice and repetition to know the specifics of that, and the differences between that game and other beat-em-up games. Because while a lot of beat-em-up games look similar on the surface, and they are pretty much all kind of the same thing, they have little nuances and differences that make them either easier or harder, or just things you gotta learn about to make it through these games. A lot of the beat-em-ups that I played as a kid were like Turtles in Time or Turtles Arcade as well, the Simpsons Arcade, and Double Dragon is a good one too that I played a lot, especially Battletoads Double Dragon on the Super Nintendo. It's one of my favorite games. And then Turtles in Time, Hyperstone Heist on the home consoles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game on the NES, and you know, on the Genesis side, there's Streets of Rage, which is a great game too. I would say this is like the closest thing to Streets of Rage on the Super Nintendo / Super Famicom. I think this might have came out like around the same time or maybe even first. But this is definitely like the closest competition to your Streets of Rage. I will say I like Streets of Rage a little bit more than this, but maybe that's just because I played Streets of Rage more than this. It's hard to say. But I've never really played Streets of Rage 3, so I've only played Streets of Rage 1 and 2, I think, from what I remember. But those are really fun to play. Oh no, we got our first man down. I'm not sure what's better, like kicking. Ooh, that's cool. That kind of reminds me of Batman Returns on Super Nintendo, where Batman can go ahead and grab the bad guys and then like do kind of like smash combos with them, like wrestling moves. Yeah, this game's really cool. The graphics are pretty good considering it was not only an arcade port, but one of the first Super Nintendo games and the first Super Nintendo game that Capcom made. So here's one of the female characters that I believe is not present in the North American regions probably because of the negative connotations of violence against women. And they didn't want to cause any problems. Nintendo at the time, this was before Mortal Kombat, or around the time of Mortal Kombat, so when that came out, Nintendo was still censoring their games in North America, which they have stopped currently, of course, and they kind of stopped around the N64 time, I would say. But there's always been this stigma with Nintendo because of their censorship, specifically in North America, because this is not censored in Japan, so it's not entirely just Nintendo. But there's always been this stigma from the rest of the world for Nintendo about it being not only a kid's machine or a kid's console, but being edited as well, which is mainly due to games like Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo. The first one, the second one, well, technically the first one didn't have blood on the Genesis or the Super Nintendo unless you entered a blood code, which is Avocad on Genesis. And then it just had sweat on Super Nintendo, or I guess like sweat marks or something like that. But the oh, we beat the first level. I think there's 6 levels, and yeah, pretty cool so far. I was just saying, like, yeah, Mortal Kombat. I think after Mortal Kombat, they started loosening up on their violence, because there is some M-rated games on the Super Nintendo, like Doom, some other ones, and then on the N64, there's a ton of M-rated games. But people still have that stigma of it being like, you know, it's only for kids or something like that. GameCube had a few that were even published by Nintendo, or at least a third party, like Eternal Darkness and Geist. No one ever talks about Geist, but I enjoyed it. And the Wii had a bunch of rated M games. DS had a bunch. 3DS had a bunch. And so on and so on. Not that this game is really that mature. I'm just talking about it because, you know, the subject of censorship, specifically on Nintendo games, as well as the subject of censorship, specifically on games outside of Japan. Where in Japan, it has all the content. There's that guy, Andore Jr., which is based on Andre the Giant, the professional wrestler / actor, legendary guy. You know, you can kind of see, if I can get him on screen, that he does look like Andre the Giant. They call him Andore Jr. Oh, a lot of health. Alright, we're going inside the subway now. I believe there's a special move I can do too, which I wanted to use it there, but I think it drains your health, which I don't really like to use special moves in these types of games, especially when they're a game where it'll drain your health by using your special attack. I don't like that in video games. I like it better where there's like a stamina meter that you have to like kind of build up, and then you can use your special moves on a separate thing from your health. Or if you have like an item count for it, like I believe Streets of Rage does this, where you have a special attack where it'll help like wipe off all the enemies on screen or do a lot of damage to a boss. But then you've also got Gotta be careful. You've also got like only a few uses of it, but it doesn't drain your health like this game does. There's a way to use it. I don't want to use it right now. Actually, I don't really want to use it at all. Slam a jamma. Is there food in here? Pizza, cake, whatever that was. Pizza pie. Now I always choose Hagar in these games, or Hagar, and I don't know, like, I never tried the other character, Cody, who might actually be better for a first player, I'm not sure. So I've never been able to beat this one. I usually get stuck around this part of the game. I think I have made it to stage 3 before, but I'm not sure if that was an arcade port or the Super Famicom version. Because I feel like on an arcade port, I might have more continues. I don't know what the continue system is like on this version, but I'm assuming it's a little more strict. Like, this could be my last life right now. Okay. 0 is your final life on this. Your final fight, as they say in the title. Let's try to take these guys down before I break the boxes. Oh my gosh. I think it's jump plus attack is how you do your special attack. Where I think he like spins around and hits all the enemies or something. Oh, that's some slowdown there. No! I'm trying to get the health. There might be a health in there. Oh my gosh, bomb. You've got 3 credits to continue. But keep in mind, we're going to play Streets of Rage 2. Let's check out Cody first this round. Okay, let's try and see if I can beat the level with Cody. If not, then we're going to switch directly over to... no, I call it Streets of Rage 2. It's kind of like Streets of Rage, and I play that more. But no, switch over to Final Fight 2. I remember this pole being here last time. It's really handy. Get it? Handy? No, maybe Cody is a little bit better. I wouldn't think so. There was a thing that I did. It drained my health a little bit. But it broke me out of those enemies when I was surrounded. So it might have been worth it. And it is Y and B at the same time, which Y is your attack button. Wow. And then B is your jump button. You can also do things like grabs once again. Like that. By just walking up to them and then throwing them with Y. And then you can also do things like jump kicks. You just B, and when you're in the air, Y. But I don't think there's anything else you can do. Like, L and R doesn't do anything. A and X don't do anything either. They could have made A and X do the same things as B and Y, but they didn't. Go in the subway. I've still got a lot of lives. 5 all lives. See if we can beat this stage. I like that when you throw an enemy, they impact the other enemies that are next to them. So that way you can like knock them into each other and knock them all back at once. Which is pretty cool. It's really satisfying to see that. Who's bad? It looks like Michael Jackson's jacket from Thriller. You can do a little fast combo like that, which is kind of cool. Really cool, actually. Now, for the longest time, I thought I already did this game on a Famicom Friday, so I didn't choose it. So I know for a fact I've looked at the regional differences on the Cutting Room Floor website, which is where I got my information from. But I could have sworn I did a Famicom Friday of this game, or some video on this game on my channel Happy Beard Games already in the past. But apparently not, because I searched all throughout my channel, did not see anything about this game on there. Except for maybe like a pickups video, but nothing like gameplay like we're doing today. So I figured because I wanted to do Final Fight 2, I'm just going to do it anyways, but do it on this video as well as a double feature, because then I might forget to do Final Fight 2. And I know I really want to do Final Fight 2 because I've never played it. I played this one a few times, but not Final Fight 2. So we're going to get to that in a little bit on the same video. I could have split it up between 2 weeks, but then it's like, see, the problem with Famicom Fridays is it's called Famicom Fridays. So it's like I can only upload them on a Friday. Or if it's a live stream, only do it on a Friday. Which is cool because then I get time to space it out and do other things. But it's like sometimes I really want to make videos. Like in this phase where like I really want to do YouTube stuff. And I can't because it's like any other day of the week. But it's okay. It's just like I can just upload 2 games in one video because they're the same series. These are the only Final Fight games I own currently. I don't own them in any other region. And I have them, I think I have the arcade one on like a Capcom collection for Switch and Steam. But, let's see if there's food in there. There was some kind of like bomb thing. Back! Back, I say! Where'd my knife go? I guess I threw it. Wow, I'm really mastering this knife. That was cool. I made really good use of that. Is that the boss? That Elgato? Okay, no, I was wondering how that guy's so strong. He's not taking any damage. Get out of here. Give myself some space. Whoa, he flew in like that. I guess just loaded with knives. You like knives? We get him? We got him. Maybe I am better with Cody than Hagar, because with Hagar it's like I've made it past this once or twice, but I didn't make it through it today. What's in here first? Oh, sweet. It doesn't restore your health in between stages, so it's nice to have that food near the beginning. Now apparently there's a bar in this game. Maybe Elgato's not a boss, he's just a strong guy. There's a bar in this game, and it says things like beer, which has been censored, and then also has like a reference to like drugs, I guess, which they changed to vitamins in the North American region. Now unfortunately for this game, I don't have the manual or box, so we're not going to do any translation time this week, but we are going to not have any translation because this game is a really good one to get if you're trying to get a cheaper Super Famicom region game instead of the Super Nintendo version, because it's mainly in English. Like the only thing that's in Japanese for the most part is the intro cutscene, and I'm assuming the ending cutscene's text. Then on the other hand, you get the uncensored intro cutscene. Oh, we're in the ring. Oh, maybe this is the same level. That's a really big ring. Oh, there's Sodom. He's a Street Fighter character too. Like later on, I mean, it was originally from this, but later on he is a Street Fighter playable character. As well as Poison, that background, just regular bad guy, I guess bad girl, in this game. Poison, she was in, I think one of the Street Fighters. It might have been Street Fighter 5. I didn't play that one. I played 4 and then I played 6. Oh my gosh, it's hard. But she was also in Street Fighter versus Tekken, which I did play that one. I think that's what it was, Street Fighter versus Tekken. He just rams at you. I'm not gonna be able to beat this. Oh, his health was really low. Did you see his health? It was really low. I could have almost got it. I want to see where I continue from. Oh, it says the subway level. Okay, so we're gonna pause this. I made it pretty far. Probably the furthest I've made it I thought I beat this level, but I don't remember beating Sodom. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember. But we're going to switch over to Final Fight 2, also on the Super Famicom. Now it's time for our Japanese phrase of the week. For today's video, we're doing a very simple Japanese phrase of the week that is from the book Survival Japanese. And with this book, Survival Japanese, it has lots of different phrases that you can say in Japanese really easily. So it'll say it in English, spelled out in English, and then it'll spell it out in English so you say it in English, but it's a Japanese word. And then it'll give you a pronunciation guide, and then it'll have it actually written in kanji or whatever it might be for that specific phrase. So with this guidebook, Survival Japanese, that we've used in previous videos of Famicom Friday, we're going back to it for this one, and we're in the section of the book titled Common Phrases. So this is just a common phrase, has nothing to do with the game today. But in previous videos, we've done things that kind of tie into the games, but I couldn't really find anything that tied into Final Fight. So our Japanese phrase of the week is just a moment, please. So if you were saying the phrase just a moment, please, it might sound something like this in Japanese. Now keep in mind, once again, this is the very first time I've ever said this, so I might mess it up, and I'll probably say it 3 times to get it right and try to remember it. I try to keep in mind and try to remember all my past Japanese phrases of the week too. So for just a moment, please, in Japanese, it would be Choto mate kudasai. Choto mate kudasai. Choto mate kudasai. Now, for another thing that I want to point out about saying these in Japanese is, you know how when you talk, sometimes parts of your word gets more enunciated than others when you're saying words just in general? I'm not sure the proper way to enunciate these phrases. So they don't really go into detail on that in the book Survival Japanese. They just kind of say it and spell it out like that. They don't tell you how you should be saying it in terms of raising your voice. So for the phrase just a moment, please, I would say it, if I was going to say it in Japanese or hear it in Japanese, I would think that you just say it kind of very general. I wouldn't raise any part of my voice in any part of that phrase. So I'm thinking Choto mate kudasai, or Choto mate kudasai, or Choto mate kudasai is how you say just a moment, please, in Japanese. And that's our Japanese phrase of the week, brought to you by Survival Japanese on this week's Famicom Friday. Alright, now we're jumping in with Final Fight 2 on the Super Famicom. You've got all the characters there, Cody, Hagar, Guy, and a girl that I'm not sure what her name is. We've got a new intro scene here, which I would have translated, but well, maybe I'll translate. I'll try to, but if I get a freeze frame of that text there, because it's going by kind of fast. Maybe there is translation time in this episode after all. We've got a quick clip of some bad guys. They kind of look like Fist of the North Star bad guys. There's some more text. I might be able to capture some of that and translate that as well. I don't see why not. There's not too much of it. Well, there's a new character. I'm not sure what her name is, but she is probably what we're going to select because she's the newest character. A new addition to this one. And I believe this game, unlike its predecessor, has 2-player co-op. So that's pretty cool. We might return to this in the future someday with 2-player co-op. Two. It's cool, that burning animation there. Final Fight 2. Check the options. Now, unlike the previous game, this one has options. The other one didn't have options from what I remember. So I'm going to put her on easy. There's also normal and expert mode. The attack button is Y. Jump is B. Extra joy. I don't know what extra joy is. I'm gonna put it to the R button. Yeah, I'm assuming that's adding extra lives, but maybe it's not. And they've got the classic Capcom startup sound, which started with Street Fighter 2. Start game. Yep, once again, there's 2-player as well. So you can play as Hagar, Maki, or Carlos. I guess Carlos is a new character too. They got rid of Cody, and they have Hagar and Maki. So I could play as Maki first. If I die, then I'll check out Carlos. Hong Kong PM 12 o'clock. Kind of reminds me of Big Apple 3 a.m. or whatever from Ninja Turtles. She seems fast, like the way Cody was, but maybe faster. What's that? Piggy? Some of the items are probably just points, I guess. She's really tall. Look at these guys. They're shorter than her, like significantly. Yeah, this game feels a little bit smoother so far. It might actually be like a lot smoother because this came out. I'm assuming this came out after Street Fighter 2 did, and yeah, there's Chun-Li in the background. Hi, Chun-Li. I'm assuming this came out after Street Fighter 2, and I pretty much just confirmed that by seeing Chun-Li and also the Capcom logo. So they've definitely had their time to work with, like, Capcom's had their time to work with the Super Nintendo by then, so they can really get the game running smooth. I'm still expecting there to be some slowdown at some point in this game, as many Super Nintendo games do. But it seems like a lot of the slowdown in Super Nintendo games was like the first games that came out, like Ghosts and Goblins, or Super Ghosts and Goblins, and then or Ghouls and Ghosts or whatever it was, and then Castlevania 4 has slowdown occasionally. The game we played on last week's Famicom Friday, Pocky and Rocky, had some slowdown at times. It just really depends. Even the first Final Fight had some slowdown too, but not too badly. This one just seems faster overall. Like, not necessarily like the first one had slowdown or lag or anything like that. This one just feels it's run a little better. I don't know if you guys can tell in the video, but it just feels like, look how fast I'm moving. Oh yeah, let's check out what that R button does. It said something about joy. Okay, it's your special attack. So I guess if you don't want to press Y and B at the same time, here's me pressing Y and B at the same time. Okay, it's the exact same attack. It's just a shortcut for your special attack, which is Y and B put together, just like the first game. However, in this one, you can have a shortcut optionally, which is kind of cool. It makes it a little easier to do, because like a lot of the controllers wasted on this game. You're only using 2 buttons. It's like an NES game. And then the D-pad, of course. So I have 4 lives. Did I die once? The other game we started with 5. Or maybe I just unlocked or picked up 1 or earned 1 through points. Maybe that's what it was. On the previous game, not this one. Okay, come on screen, dude. Also, it has time, but look how slow the time is moving. Like, it just transitioned to 3 when I started talking about the time. And thankfully, it's going super slow. The little figure of someone? Is that a figure of Guy? Give me an extra life. Which I guess Guy is like a fan favorite from this series. And they didn't include him in the first Final Fight. I don't know if he's in this one. He might be unlockable, maybe? I don't think so, but maybe. And I know there's a separate one called Final Fight Guy, which I don't have. I'm not sure if Final Fight Guy is in between this one and the first, or if it's just a version of the first one with Guy as a playable character. or if it's its own separate thing, or if it's like a Final Fight 3. So I'm not really familiar with this series. And once again, guys, this is the first time I've played this game on any console. Which was one thing I was hearing on Reddit, is like, they haven't done any good ports of Final Fight for some reason. Like, yeah, you can get ports of Final Fight 1 in the arcade port, I think, on some of the Capcom collections, but I don't think they were ported, just from what I was reading on the Reddit post, the Super Famicom, Super Nintendo versions, as well as the sequels, including this one. So that's a little weird. That's really weird, actually. Like, why doesn't Capcom care about this game? Capcom has so many games that are great. They have so many great, like, series that they're still continuing. Like, there's Monster Hunter, Mega Man, Resident Evil. It seems like a lot of people that are fans of Capcom, or like a Capcom game, tend to focus on one of those in general. But when you really look at the grand scope of everything that Capcom's made, like, I didn't even mention Street Fighter, or any of their fighting ones, like the Marvel vs. Capcom series. Like, there's so many Street Fighter games. Those are all Capcom, of course. There's the Mega Man games. There's all the classic Disney ones that Capcom made along with Disney, like DuckTales and Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Little Mermaid, and so on. They made so many cool games. Even the Mickey's Magical Quest games, which we've done on Famicom Friday, which are really fun. Now, that girl you're seeing with the teal boots, or green boots, she is not in the North American version from what I've heard. So she's a character exclusive to Japan. Is that just points, I guess? We got a block of wood! 2x4! You still can't run in this game, by the way. I didn't mention that last time, but there's no, like, double attach to run. Which is weird, because some of the enemies, like when I was fighting Sodom and some other enemies, they could run and dash and stuff like that, but I don't have a dash, I just have jump. So it's really tricky to dodge the enemies in this one. I believe in, like, games like Turtles in Time, you had, like, some kind of dodge, you could kind of, like, cartwheel out of the way or something like that. Also, it looks like, yeah, they put the enemy's health directly below you, and I believe the reasoning for that is because this game, it has two-player co-op, so instead of putting the enemies on the right side of the screen, that's where your second player would be, so they leave it blank even on single player. Fighting against 1-1. 1-1 was the name of one of the giants in Game of Thrones. Okay, I don't know how you got me there, but we got him. Let's get out of here. That was round 1. That was the entire stage. That's a long stage. Oh, we've got a little, like, story in between. That's cool. If I remember, I'll translate this too. All right. Don't know what that said. We'll figure it out in post, though. France, 5 o'clock p.m. Break that. Wonder how many times we're going to see the Eiffel Tower in the background. We already saw it once. Final fight. Fighting the final. Final fight. Fighting for finals. Usually it's not a safe thing to wait by the edge of the screen in these games. And I find it kind of weird they do that in beat 'em ups. Like, I guess it kind of makes sense. That seems like, just seems like normal gameplay now, but it is kind of weird that like the enemies can go off screen when you can't. Like, come on, come in here so you can fight. On some games, it gets to be like quite a problem. I've noticed that on the Sailor Moon beat 'em up games that we played earlier on Famicom Friday, Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon R. That was a problem for me, where I kept having like the enemies stay off screen, and then it would take a while for them to come back onto the screen so I could actually fight them. And in that one, they'd had like range attacks, so they were like hitting me and stuff from off screen. Hey, there's Andre, or Andore. Giant. Cool. Oh, he broke through the fence. Nice. I feel like this game's easier than the last one. Now, I did set it to easy mode on the options, but the previous game had no option settings for difficulty, at least as far as I saw. It was just you press start, you're in the game. This one, it's definitely easier on easy, so I'm assuming normal is more on par with your Final Fight 1 difficulty, and easy mode is like, it's truly easier than the other one, and this one as well. So we might make it quite a decent way into the Final Fight 2. Which I used to like not set games to easy mode, I used to keep them on normal. But now, I kind of changed my perspective on the whole difficulty setting thing. And I don't really see any problem with setting it to easy if there is an easy mode. I'll probably try it out, especially if it's my first time trying it or playing that game. Because otherwise, it's gonna like get to the point where it's really hard and it's just gonna make me frustrated, and then I'll never play the game again. But if I try it in easy mode, especially the first time, I will have fun with it, and then maybe I'll come back to it. It's not necessarily like games that are hard that don't make me want to go back to them. It's just like, if it has an easy setting, might as well start with easy, especially if it's the first time playing a game. Like, I was playing Elden Ring recently, and I don't really mind the difficulty of it. It doesn't really seem like necessarily harder or easier than other games. I hear like the FromSoft games are notoriously difficult, and I've only really played Dark Souls 1 and I played Shadow Tower, and then I played Elden Ring. And aside from Shadow Tower, Elden Ring and Dark Souls are pretty similar. But in those games you can level up and get equipment and stuff, so it's not like you're impossibly stuck on something. Whereas a game like this, the only thing you can do to get an advantage on someone is either get good or change the difficulty in the options menu. There's no leveling up. Sure, there's items and pickups and stuff, but there's also... there's not like you can equip things to make yourself better as you go along. Shadow Tower, on the other hand, is a From Software game for the PlayStation 1. And, well, I didn't necessarily find it difficult. I felt it was, I mean, more or less difficult than Dark Souls. It probably is harder. But I just had a hard time with it because it's very, very slow paced. And it's something that I'm not used to at all. It's like a first person, really slow version of Dark Souls. In a way, it kind of reminds me of Elder Scrolls 2. I think it was called Daggerfall. This is actually looking like Sailor Moon with this character too. As we played the Sailor Moon games on Famicom Friday in the recent past, which a few of them were beat 'em ups like this. One of them was a puzzle game, but two of them were like this. You can definitely see the inspiration on those Sailor Moon games. The Sailor Moon games were heavily inspired by probably Final Fight, other arcade games, and maybe Streets of Rage. I mean, it's basically like a reskin of this to an extent, but with Sailor Moon stuff. I would say this is a better game than Sailor Moon in terms of the gameplay. It's this, at least this one. The first Final Fight, I'd say, yeah, Sailor Moon's a little bit better. You got more characters to choose from. You've got different special attacks and more attacks to pull off in the levels besides just one button. But this one, I think it just runs smoother and it's a little bit faster than the Sailor Moon games. From what I remember, just a little bit. So this one's definitely a good one too. If you like Sailor Moon on the Super Famicom, I'd recommend Final Fight, and Final Fight 2 specifically. This is really good. This is really fun. I mean, sure, this is probably not as good as the arcade version, but for a home port, this is really good. Oh, it's Freddy. Oh, he kind of looks like, what's his name? Zangief from Street Fighter. He's got the chest hair going on, the same pattern, he's got the muscles, but it's not the same guy. So there is some crossovers with Street Fighter stuff, but that is not Zangief. That was a good save with that throw that I like threw the bad guy at him. Oh, he's choking me. Jump up. Ow. As far as I can pick up that guy. He just ran into me. Oh wait, that wasn't my last. Oh, I had a little bit of health left. I didn't even notice that. That's cool. I was like, dang, he took out one of my whole bars in one hit. Oh wait, no, that was just my other bar. Mick. Okay, we really gotta get serious now. This is getting hard. As I'm just getting hit more and more. No! Scott or Shot? What is that name? It's like Scott, but with an H in the middle. Shot. Okay, he's almost dead. Oh, we're not gonna make it. Are we gonna make it? No! Hey, I was kicking him. How did he do that? Oh my gosh. Oh no, we're being waterboarded or drowned. I can choose a different character. Let's check out this guy, Carlos. Oh wait, we start kind of... We get a better checkpoint in this one? Yeah, because we should have been starting at the Eiffel Tower. But we're starting at the airfield already. So, let's see if I can do this. I want to see if we can use this sword. Like, I got this sword, samurai katana in my back. On my back. Why am I just punching and kicking? Maybe it's for a grab? I'm assuming it's just for a special attack, but it's like, why would you not use a sword? If you're trained enough to use the sword, why are you jumping and kicking? I understand, like, yeah, you can do both. But in this one, you can't. It's like he's prioritizing his fists and kicks over using a sword to chop through enemies. Oh, it's not for his grab, because I did that. Once I get surrounded, I'll show you that. Or if I get surrounded. This guy's pretty good so far. We're probably going to play a little bit more. This is a longer Famicom Friday than usual because, once again, 2 games. But we're going to at least get to where we were and try to beat that boss. If we don't beat the boss, then it's okay. Try this. Cool, and then I got food to heal myself fully. Yeah, he does use his sword for a special attack. But yeah, we're just gonna either, you know, beat the boss or die on the boss. Oh my god. And then and then we'll see where we go from there. We're almost to the boss, so we just gotta keep on our defense. Hit the guys at the right time. There he is. Good head start on him. I'll try a different tactic. Oh, it's hard to jump over. The tactic I was going to try was knock him down and get right in front of him and knock him down again. Of course, that's all easier said than done. I can keep him knocked down a lot. And then also I was going to try throwing more enemies into him. I don't know if this is the boss of the level or what. It seems like he is, though. Once again, it's hard to dodge. I guess the best way to dodge is just go up or down, but you still move very slowly. Okay, now Freddy's on his actual life bar, where like you can actually see it going down and stuff. Of course, I'm on my last life bar too. No, I've got one more, I think. I think I've got one more. Oh, I just earned another one. Sweet. Okay, we gotta focus on this. I'm like, you can't see me because I'm not recording my face this time because my room's a mess. But I'm trying my hardest. Keep in mind, if you guys want to see me do my face cam again, I will do it in the future. I'll soon have beat it, but I'm just not doing it on this one. What is this, Street Fighter? I'll destroy this car. Get out of the way. Is it like Street Fighter where you have to do each side first? Use my special attacks on him. Dang, that's hard. It's harder than it is on Street Fighter. On Street Fighter, I can do it pretty much all the time. Holland. 4 o'clock. What are these? Oh my... I'm like, what are these? They're landmines. Great. There's a electrician guy. Yeah, I think the next time I die or get a game over, that'll be the end of this video. But for now, we're just going to see how far we can get along on this level. Just glad we were able to beat the first 2 levels, which is more than we made it in the first game. However, this one is set to easy, once again. So it's not too much of a challenge, really. Be careful with these bombs. Oh no, we're gonna be stuck like right here. See if they'll just walk into them. Not even gonna move. Okay, now I can move down. Okay. Once again, guys, I don't think I mentioned this at all, but a lot of my videos I play on the actual original hardware. So we're playing this on the actual Super Nintendo. Not a Super Famicom, but the Super Nintendo can be easily modified to play the carts without the Super Famicom carts, without any real like changing or soldering or any of the parts. You just kind of like remove some plastic and that's it. So we are playing on the actual hardware from Nintendo. We're playing on the actual Super Famicom carts for both games. The way we're recording this is we're using Elgato HD60X, which all this information is also in the description box below. We're also using the best Super Nintendo video cable out there, which is called the HD RetroVision cables, which has close to no like input noise and stuff like that, and also outputs on component. It's the only, as far as I know, Super Nintendo component cable. And then also we're playing it on M Classic, which the M Classic upscales it to 1080p. And then not only does it increase the resolution, I can set it to 4:3 aspect ratio, which is what I need for Super Nintendo Super Famicom games. Otherwise this would be widescreen, stretched automatically, which is not good. But yeah, other than that, got the best picture quality on Super Nintendo using the original hardware. I think it looks pretty good. Oh, I just noticed I can jump and then punch downward. I didn't know I could do that. You just press it down. I don't know what the point of that is. Can I punch up? No, I just do the kick. Well, that's cool. A little bit of variety. An elevator. Remember, I'm on my last life. Sure, there's more continues, but we're about to end it too. That was a really drawn out scene of him going up the elevator. Maybe they couldn't do it in real time, so it was weird looking though. He has that thing where he just rams into you with his chest as well. Yo, yo, yo! Is this it for our hero? Not yet. I'm not finished yet. Going out with a bang. This club is really handy. Like that came in clutch. Oh, that taser guy's gonna get me. Okay. Wow, I did not expect to get to the next room. Is there food in here? A little tiny bit of health from chocolate. I was hoping it would kill me fully. Oh, electric guy got me, we're running into me. Oh wait, I'm not dead yet. Oh no, I'm dead. Let's see what happens when we don't continue. Oh, you've got even more continue credits than you did in the first game. First game you had like 4 or 3. This one you have 5 or 6. That's good to know too. Game over. Alright everybody, that was it for today's Famicom Friday right here on Happy Bird Games. We checked out Final Fight and Final Fight 2, both in the Super Famicom from Capcom on the Super Famicom Super Nintendo. They were both a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them both. I think I had more fun with the second one. I made more progress. It has more characters. It has the potential for 2-player co-op. And it's a lot of fun. It feels a little bit faster, quicker, or smoother than the previous Final Fight as well. If you like games like Streets of Rage, Turtles in Time, Double Dragon, anything like that, any side-scrolling arcade-style beat-em-up, you'll probably enjoy Final Fight or Final Fight 2 like I did. And I hope that if you do check it out, I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Alright everybody, thanks for watching once again. Please be sure to leave me a like, share with your friends, leave me a comment, and subscribe today for more classic gaming goodness right here on Hybrid Games' Famicom Friday. Alright everybody, thanks for watching once again.